since the beginning, I've had a dream of playing, Division I lacrosse or high-level Division III lacrosse, but I never really knew where I would end up.
It's very competitive nowadays, and it can be hard to get a lot of time in front of coaches or with the coaches, especially with the growth of lacrosse as a sport across the country. As the sport grows, more players get involved. Guys get bigger, faster, stronger every single year. The game grows in states like Oregon or California, and you've got more and more people playing the game. So as the sport becomes more competitive, so does the recruiting landscape.
So when Jackson first started playing, he was playing t-ball, and I have a memory of walking by a lacrosse game and Jackson seeing everybody dressed in their helmets and their armor with their weapons, and him saying, "What are they playing?" I said, "That's lacrosse," and he said, "I want to play lacrosse." And I think that's kind of, in my mind, how it all started. And I think the older he got, the more he was traveling back east, so it was more economical the younger that he was.
Before high school, I was back there a fair amount. I probably went back there 2 or 3 times a year for 1 to 2 tournaments at a time. And then after I started high school, it definitely ramped up. Yeah, starting in 9th grade was my first recruiting showcase. I went to Jake Reed's Blue Chip. And then after that, I had to go to a lot of recruiting showcases because I just had to show myself to as many colleges as possible because you never know who's going to like you, and it's a lot of time and money to get back there.
You got to keep in mind that these coaches are recruiting a number of players, and just because they've shown interest in you doesn't mean they're going to commit you, doesn't mean that you're going to make the team even if you do go to the school. It's much easier on the East Coast to get your name out there. So if you do have the talent, it's much easier to be found. Whereas if you might have the same amount of talent on the West Coast, you're going to have to put in a lot more work to be seen, to build relationships with coaches, and to kind of work your way into that scene.
After September 1st, I realized how short of a time span I had, and so I definitely had to start going to more showcases and just hitting the weight room more, playing more wall ball, because I knew I only had a limited amount of time to get recruited. So my work definitely picked up after September 1st.
Some work to get there. So you're going to have to reach out to coaches. You're going to have to advocate for yourself. You're going to have to spend time on the phone with coaches. You're going to have to spend time with your current coaches that can help advocate for you. And you're going to have to think about, what kind of school do I want to go to, and what kind of program do I want to be involved in. So there's a lot of just thought that goes into the whole process. And there's a lot of work that goes into getting recruited and building highlight reels and writing outreach letters and all that kind of stuff. So it's twofold. You got to be hitting the wall and also coming home and putting in the desk work as well.
I've had to sacrifice a lot of time, that's meant having to miss, big school dances. I had to miss my winter formal 1 year because I was back at a recruiting tournament. There's been a lot of Friday and Saturday nights that I haven't been able to go out and hang with my buddies with because I'm at a tournament or I'm training or I'm doing something else. So it's definitely taken a big toll on my social life. In school work-wise, it definitely makes it harder to get work done, but I make those sacrifices socially.
It starts with training, sacrifice, and putting in the time, effort, focus is what for a lot of guys like myself when I was at that level. My free time was playing lacrosse. It's a huge commitment. It's a full-time job. Your free time is going to be spent going on a run, hitting the wall, practicing, going to the gym, and working on getting better because, that's what you want to do. It can be tough. Being a student athlete is tough. You've got to spend a ton of physical and mental effort on sport, but also you've got to make sure you're taking care of the academic side of things. So you don't want to let that fall by the wayside, which can happen.
There were probably like 3 or 4 colleges that I was seriously considering. Dartmouth was the main D1 that I liked, and then besides that, I was looking at some smaller D3 schools. Tufts, Middlebury, and Amherst were my favorites. They saw me play at one tournament in particular, and then I went out to 2 of their prospect camps. So I knew I wanted Dartmouth from the second I drove up there for the first time. It just, something clicked, and I knew it was like, if there was a school that I could go to, it would be that school. It was just the atmosphere and the coaches and everything about it I really, really liked. So I knew Dartmouth was the one from the first time I visited.
I couldn't be more pleased with how hard he tried, and we couldn't be more thrilled with the result. I think we feel fortunate. I think I speak for all of us on that one.